Good evening, good evening. Yes, I apologize. I am late. I am late. But anyways, welcome back for episode 2 of our Boundaries mini-series. Yesterday we talked about what boundaries are, and we are going to go a little more in depth today. But today we're talking about boundaries with friends and family. Eek. Yes, it's going to be a good one. Let's be honest. That usually is where it gets really hard. Friends and family know us best. So that is where it gets hard. So we are going to talk about it. My phone needs charge, but I hope I can get through this before it dies. So we're going to cross our fingers. And guess what, guys? Today I went to a thrift store and I showed you guys my boundaries book. I thought I had it in here, but I don't. I showed you guys my book yesterday and it's literally like in pieces. But guess what? I went back and I was like, oh, I need to go look in the book section because there is a new copy of the book. But, and I thought I had it and I looked at my bookshelf and I didn't have it. But I went into the thrift store today and I was like, I need to go look at the books. So I went back to look at the books and guess what I found? A new copy. This is meant to be, you all. This is meant to be because I found a new copy of this book. So I'm going to read. We're going to start off, like I said, discussing what boundaries are. And so I am going to read, just kind of give you an idea. So in a physical world, you think of boundaries and you think of like your property boundaries. You have a fence. You know where your property boundaries are, right? Your house, you know, your house is your boundaries. So those kind of boundaries are easy to see. You know what they are. So in a physical world, boundaries are easy to see. You either have walls, fences, your hedges on your fence and your fence line, something like that. So, if you own a piece of property, you know where your property ends and where your neighbors begin, right? Sometimes, it's not a big deal. You have neighbors who don't care. So you may mow, 2 feet onto their property and they don't care. They may mow 2 feet on your property. And then you have other people who are like, don't cross my property line, or else that's my property. Don't step on it. Don't cross it. You have those kind of neighbors as well. So depending on what kind of neighbor you have, like I said, but you know where your boundaries are, like, where your property boundaries are. So if something was to happen, let's say a broken water line, you're going to know if that's on my property or that's on my neighbor's property. I'm responsible, they're responsible, or maybe it might even be the city, might be city property lines, right? So property lines, those kind of lines are easy to see. Now we're talking about boundaries for us. Boundaries define us. They define what is me and what is not me, right? A boundary shows where I end and someone else begins, leading me to a sense of ownership, right? So knowing what I own and what I take responsibility for gives me freedom, gives you freedom, right? Knowing what is yours. If I know where my yard begins and ends, I'm free to do what I like. So it's like if someone was to tell you, guard this property diligently, right? They're giving you a job, guard this property. Because they're going to hold you responsible for what happens on that property as you're the guard of it, right? But what happens if they don't tell you where the boundary lines, where the property lines are? Do you even know what you're guarding? You don't, right? You don't know what you're guarding. They tell you to guard this. So are you guarding the entire city? Are you just guarding an acre? Are you just guarding this block? What are you guarding? You don't know, right? So that's exactly what happens to us if we don't guard what belongs to us and we don't set the boundaries. That happens to us emotionally and spiritually. So it's very important that we set our boundaries and we know what our boundaries. If I do not own my life, my choices and options become very limited. So I just wanted to read that to you out of the book today. And again, this is Boundaries. And again, this was meant to be because I found this book in the thrift store today. So, woohoo, very, very happy. to have a new copy that's not actually in shambles, because my other copy, like I said, I showed you guys yesterday, it is bad. So again, talking about boundaries with friends and family. That's where it gets the hardest. So if you're watching this and if you ever felt guilty, I talked about yesterday about that. If you ever felt guilty for saying no to a family member or a close friend, they asked you to do something and you could not do it and you felt guilty for it, let me know. Put a little hand raise in the comments so I know that I'm not the only one that feels guilty, because someone asks to do something and it's we can't do it. Sometimes our schedule doesn't permit us to do something. It's not that we don't want to, but sometimes our schedule just doesn't allow us to, and we have to say no, and that's hard to do sometimes. So here's the thing. Our friends and our family, they know us best, obviously. They're closest to us, which also means they know how to pull on our heartstrings. They make us feel guilty sometimes when we don't want to do what they ask us to do or what they expect us to do. And that's where the boundaries get tough, is when it comes to friends and family, because we love them and we don't want to disappoint them, but also we have to stick to our guns. We got to stick to our plan. So if our boundaries say we cannot do this, or we should not do this, or we will not do this, it doesn't matter if it's the neighbor asking you, your friends or family, mom, dad. I mean, we have to, they have to respect our boundaries. Once we decided what our boundaries are and we make that determination, they should respect those. And like I said, when we tell somebody no, no means no. Again, no is a complete sentence, like we said yesterday. No is a complete sentence. So here's the truth. Saying no doesn't mean you don't love them. It means you're protecting your peace. So you can love them in a healthier way. So your peace is more important. Taking care of you is more important than whatever they are asking you to do or need you to do or need your help with. Like I said, if it's your boundary, you saying no is protecting your peace. And so that's just what we have to stick to that. We can't waver, because then that's when they lose respect for our boundaries, right? Drop me a broken heart if you ever said yes just to keep the peace, even though it hurts you inside. I know I have, because I didn't want to cause any waves, cause any trouble, that confrontation, I guess. So we got to be firm. And again, it's a yes or a no. Once you set your boundaries, it's a yes or a no. So I'm gonna give you some real life examples. The relative who always calls you and wants you to drop everything for them. We all have that relative, right? Maybe it's a friend. We all have that person, right? We do. Yep. A friend who invites you to every event, but makes you feel bad if you can't go. There's sometimes we can't make every event, right? Whether it be a birthday party, a dinner, maybe sometimes we just don't feel good, right? We can't make every event. Do we want to? Sometimes, yeah. But we can't. So that friend makes you feel bad. Oh, I invited you and you didn't go, you didn't come. That happens. We can have those friends, right? Invite you and you just don't go, and then they keep bringing it up all the time. Throwing it in your face type of thing, right? Or family member who borrows money or things and doesn't return them. So sometimes when you set those boundaries, you just got to say no. Can't do it. Won't do it. So do you ever does anyone have with one person who constantly test your boundaries. Don't have to name names. Just put me in the comments. If you have one person in your life, one person you know, who constantly tests your boundaries. Like I said, you don't gotta name names. Just put a me. If you can relate to that, you know exactly who I'm talking about when I say that. Someone comes to your mind, right? So you know what I'm talking about. So I'm going to give you some practical ways to handle family and friends with love and firmness. Again, firmness, right? We got to stay firm to our boundaries. We got to stick to them. We can't waver them, because that's when they will quit respecting them. They won't respect them any longer if we always are changing our boundaries for them. We're always, okay, I'll do it this time. No, it's got to be no. If that's your boundary, it's got to be no. Again, practical ways to handle family and friends with love, but firm, being firm. Use short, clear answers. No long explanations. Guilty. Guilty right here. Anybody else? Guilty. Example, I can't do that today, but thanks for asking. Thanks for inviting me. Yeah, but I can't do it today. As you can see in there, I didn't tell them why I can't do it today. I didn't give an explanation. Thanked them for inviting me or asking me, and told them I can't do it. Right? So, end of story. That's it. So that's number 1. Number 2, prepare a go-to phrase for when you feel pressured. An example of that would be, that doesn't work for me right now. So they ask you to do something, want you to do something, and you feel pressure to do it. Phrase would be, that doesn't work for me right now. Again, you didn't hear, I didn't give him an explanation. I didn't have to give him a reason why. A simple, that doesn't work for me right now. Okay? Number 3, don't negotiate your peace. If no is the answer, keep it to a no. I'm going to repeat this for the people in the back. Don't negotiate your peace. If the answer is no, keep it a no. N-O. Number 4, remember, you are allowed to protect your energy even from those people you love. You can still love them. But protect your peace and your energy, okay? If this relates to you, if you guys are going to start doing this, if you guys have learned anything from this, anything at all, drop me a 5. Am I helping anybody today? I want to help somebody, okay? So if that helps you at all, again, real quickly, use short, clear answers, no long explanations. Prepare a go-to phrase for when you feel pressured. Remember, that doesn't work for me right now. Don't negotiate your peace. If the answer is no, it's a no. You are allowed to protect your energy, even from those you love and care for. You are allowed to protect your energy, even from those you love and care for. 4 tips. If those helped you, if you're going to use those, drop me a number 5. Okay? Hold on 1 second. Okay. personal story. So, I want you to think of a time where you've felt stretched thin already. Schedule is already tight, but you said yes to a family member when you actually needed rest, which created you to overextend yourself. Can you think of a time that your calendar's already booked, you're already busy, already have plans, but a family member asked you to do something and you committed and overextended yourself, creating yourself to be exhausted, just to do what they've asked you to do? I'm sure we all have a situation that we can think of, a time, and I'm sure some of us probably can say we have multiple times we can think of, right? I think we just all do it. We all do it. We all say yes when we know we should have said no, right? Yeah, we do. Yep. So sometimes family acts like your calendar is their calendar. So in other words, they control your calendar. But sis, last time I checked, I don't have a clone written on my birth certificate. I control my calendar. My calendar, right here. This is my calendar. I use a hard copy, I use a digital copy. But this calendar right here, I'm the only one that writes things in it. Me, Sheila. Nobody else writes in this calendar. Not my son, not my husband, not my friends, not even my boss, nobody. I'm the only one that writes in this calendar. So I choose what I want to put on here, okay? You choose what you put on your calendar. Don't let nobody else write in your calendar. Don't let nobody else pick up your calendar. It's your calendar. So, yeah, no, you make those commitments. You choose. You don't do it. But again, remember, think about when's the last time that you overbooked yourself. You were overbooked by a family member because you said yes to something they wanted you to do when you know the answer should have been N-O. Okay. I'll try to wrap this up here. I don't know how long I've been on, but I'm going to try to wrap this up. Hope I'm helping somebody. I hope somebody's thinking about their boundaries, their calendar, their yes and their no's. When someone asks you to do something, before you respond yes, think about it. Take time. And even if someone asks you to do something or asks you of something, you don't have to give them an answer right then and there. I think that's what some of the problem is that we feel that when someone, unless it's like an extreme emergency, obviously, but I think we feel that when somebody asks us to do something, we have to give them an answer immediately. And we don't. We don't have to respond to their request immediately. So take time to think about that, because how many times do we do that? And then we go pull out our calendar and we've already have 15 things on it for the day. Right? So it's okay to tell somebody, okay, let me check my calendar. I'll get back to you. Let me check. I'll get back to you. You don't have to give them an answer immediately. Like I said, if it's an emergency, that's a different story. But take the time and check your calendar. And not only that, when you're thinking about your calendar, make sure you are adding your self-care on your calendar. So that's what we do is we overbook ourselves, and then we don't even put in the time. We don't even put in our time for our own self-care. So part of your boundaries is creating that time on your calendar for your boundaries. So, like I said, if someone asks you to do something, you don't have to respond immediately. You can say, let me check my calendar, I'll get back to you. And you can say, I'll get back to you by so-and-so date, or I'll get back to you by the end of the day, or whatever. You can give them a timeline so they don't think you're going to blow them off and never respond to them. You can give them a timeline, but you don't have to respond to their request immediately. Take that time. Look at your calendar. Is it going to overextend me? Is it going to overbook me? Do I have my self-care built in on my calendar? That's to be the first thing you do. When you open your calendar for the month, plan your self-care. If it's a spa day, if it's just 10 minutes of reading to yourself, sit down reading in quiet time. If it's your morning coffee, whatever you do for self-care, whatever it may be. It don't have to be expensive. It don't have to be a lot of money. A spa day, hair day, nail day, whatever. It don't got to be none of that. It could just be, I'm going to sit by myself for 30 minutes and read a book. I don't care. Sit there in silence. Sit there and enjoy my coffee. Go on the front porch first thing in the morning or at night. Whatever you want to do for your self-care, put that on your calendar. That should be the first thing you put on your calendar when you're planning out your week, month, whatever, your day, whatever. First thing you should put on your calendar. That should be the part of your boundaries, the very first thing. Put that in there, and then you can book everything else around that. So remember, put you first. Put you first. If you don't get anything else out of this whole series, episode, whatever, you remember self-care is not selfish, and you put you first. Okay? All right. So as we wrap this up, drop me a heart if you are ready to set healthier boundaries this week with those people that you love. Again, the hardest ones, because they know us. They know how to guilt us into stuff, make us feel guilty, pull on those heartstrings, give us those puppy dog looks, eyes, oh, please, they know how to do all that. But drop me a heart in the comments if you are ready to set those healthier boundaries with those people. Again, it's not being mean. It doesn't mean you don't love them. It just means you're protecting your peace, okay? Now, don't miss episode 3 tomorrow because we're diving into work and business boundaries. Emails, clients, bosses, all of it. And you all know that's a big one that I struggle with. And so, and I'm going to try to be very careful on what I say on that one tomorrow because I don't want to get myself in trouble. But yeah, that's going to be a fun one. So come back and join me tomorrow. Maybe I'll be on time. I was talking to my sister, so I was not on time today. And I had to go do a notary appointment. But I did promise you guys I'll be here, so I did show up. So as we close this out tonight, say this with me. And actually, I want you guys to write it in the comments when you say it with me, okay? I can love people and have boundaries. Saying no doesn't make me unkind. Again, I can love people and have boundaries. Saying no doesn't make me unkind. Again, don't miss episode 3 tomorrow. work and business boundaries. Again, I hope I'm helping somebody. Please leave me a comment and let me know if I'm helping you. I really want to help somebody. Something I struggle with, and I know I'm not alone. So let me know, okay? Come back tomorrow. See you guys then. Good night. Bye-bye.